Coming up on this week's news, fire investigators say they found DIY electrical work at a Swansea home where a 3-year-old boy and his dad died. It's been revealed that over 3 million smart meters aren't working properly, and an electrician working behind a false ceiling discovers a set of priceless artworks. Welcome to Electrical News Weekly in association with Solar Trade Sales, your easy one-stop shop for all things solar. Make sure you click the link in the show notes to access their online store, whether you're listening in the van, on site or down at the wholesale counter. I'm Joe Robinson, and I've been through the best of the electrical industry news to save you the trouble. And this week's challenge word competition is supported by the good people at Brady. If you need a label, they've got a printer, and so much more. If you think you've spotted the 2 words I've been challenged to slip into this week's show, comment with them below for the chance to win a prize. And while you're there, click the link to check out the Brady range of printers. Fire investigators have told an inquest that they found that DIY electrical work had been carried out in a house where a 3-year-old boy and his dad died in a fire. Mohammed Esmail and his father, 51-year-old Naimat Lawa Esmail, died in the blaze at their Swansea home in July of last year. Now Mohammed's mother, Sharmeen Ahmed, has told the inquest that her husband had made improvements in their council-owned house, including electrical work. Investigators found an extension lead had been wired into a socket in the room where the fire started. Jason Woodman of Mid and West Wales Fire and Rescue Service said that based on the balance of probabilities, the fire had started in that area. He said there were no other potential source of ignition found in the room, and the gathering also heard from Barry Kelly, an electrical expert with South Wales Police. He assessed the electrical aftermath following the fire and said there was exposed electrical wiring in the living room, which could have caused a serious electric shock if touched, and that there were alterations in other areas of the house too. In the room where the fire started, he said that there were 2 cut cables coming out of the wall where a socket would have been, and that electrical items had gone. He said he could not subsequently offer any opinion on a possible cause of the fire. Siobhan Coos from Swansea Council said the family moved into the house in 2021, adding that smoke alarms were installed there in 2020. She said electrical works were not permitted in council properties and that this was made clear to tenants at several points in the tenancy sign-in. Swansea Council electrician Thomas Mannering said the local authorities' homes were fitted with hardwired smoke alarms and were connected to a lighting circuit. He said the alarms were all connected, so if one sounded, they all sounded. Speaking through an interpreter, Miss Ahmed told the inquest she wanted to know the exact cause of the fire so that nobody else would have to go through what she had. She said it would have been much easier for her to lose her life there and then than to go through all this sorrow now. The inquest continues. Meanwhile, a wider investigation into the problem of electrical fires in the UK has unearthed some alarming statistics. The Home Office says that around 4,000 house fires across the UK every year are caused by faulty electrics. Cambridgeshire Fire and Rescue Service has revealed that it alone has been called out to more than 1,200 electrical fires in the last 3 years. Figures obtained by legal experts show that of those, more than 580 happened in domestic properties, with the leading cause being wiring, cabling and plugs. Another fire service, Hampshire and Isle of Wight, has published its figures showing that it's tackled over 1,000 electrical fires in its patch since 2021. In other news, the rollout of smart meters in the UK has come in for intense criticism in a BBC Panorama documentary. In it, BBC journalist Zoe Conway revealed that no fewer than 3.5 million of the units weren't working as they should. That means many householders can't avail themselves of smart tariffs for heating, hot water and electric vehicles, as well as powering heat pumps and battery packs. The programme looked at the case of Hartesh Batu, a doctor from Glasgow. He's had 6 different smart meters fitted by 2 energy suppliers, none of which has worked. When he complained, he was told that he lived too far north. That's because a different wireless network is used in the north of England compared to the south. In the populous south, the meters talk to the mobile cellular phone network. In the more sparsely populated north, they communicate via radio masts. But even the energy industry admits that the northern network isn't working well, and complaints have been soaring over unexpectedly high bills. An anonymous engineer told Pomeranian... Sorry, that should be Panorama. We'll get that in post, we'll edit that out. An anonymous engineer told Panorama that part of the problem was that different energy companies with different technical capabilities installed different systems running different software. Oxford University Professor Sir Dieter Helm said that the government made 2 fundamental mistakes with the rollout of smart meters. First, it gave in to lobbying by putting the energy suppliers in charge of installing smart meters instead of the network operators. And second, he said it made having a smart meter voluntary. This meant that each energy firm had to persuade each of its customers to have one fitted, driving up costs. Helm says the rollout of smart meters should go down as a textbook example of a project failure. He says it's late and very expensive. You can see the full documentary in the UK on BBC iPlayer. I've put the link in the show notes. If your smart meter is working, then you may be interested in what's being billed as the UK's first smart tariff for traditional electric storage heaters. Octopus is going retro by reinventing the Economy 7 tariff, which dates back to the 1970s. Instead of 7 continuous hours, its version, dubbed Snug Octopus, offers up to 6 hours of cheap energy every night with an extra hour in the afternoon for a toasty boost at dinner time. It says it allows average customers to save almost £140 a year compared to a standard Economy 7 tariff, without the need to invest in other low-carbon tech. Customers can adjust their heater's runtime as they want, allowing them to cut down their energy use and costs during the warmer months. Around 1.7 million homes in the UK currently use storage heaters, and they're also very popular with housing associations, with over 180,000 of their homes relying on them for heating. Now, to run those heaters, you're going to need a variety of cables, and the results of our most recent question of the week would suggest there's still some confusion over cable codes. The question was taken from our recently launched free training package on cables and conductors from Doncaster Cables and asked, the following code describes a cable which, when in a fire, does not emit smoke or gases. The code is H05Z1Z1-F. The code -F tells us that the cable is... And the correct answer is flexible, not fire rated, as 35% of people thought on YouTube. Only 56% of people got it right there. Over on LinkedIn, meanwhile, just 18% of respondents got it right, while over on X, just 17% of people were correct. It would seem that there's never been a better time to have a look at that free training package from Doncaster Cables. The link, as ever, is in the show notes. In product news, Sync Energy has launched a consumer unit for outdoor applications such as EV chargers and solar panels. The plastic unit has an ingress protection rating of IP66 and an impact rating of IK10 and is being marketed as a cost-effective alternative to metal. It's pre-fitted with Pollution Degree 3 certified devices. Options include 2 100-amp main switch versions, one with a 40-amp 30mA double-pole bidirectional RCBO and one with a 40-amp MCB. You can also get a 40-amp main switch, and all units have a Type 2 SPD. And don't forget, there's still time to enter BG's competition, where the top prize is a European city break. The runner-up prizes aren't too shabby either. They include MotoGP tickets, Porsche driving experiences, smart TVs, and more, including an annual pass for Merlin theme parks and attractions. To enter, all you've got to do is buy a product from the circuit protection range. Accessories are not included. Upload your receipt or invoice to the special BG website, and that's it. I've popped a link to the competition website in the show notes. Time is running out to enter as the promotion ends on Tuesday the 10th of December. All the very best, everyone. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we introduced you to the M211 printer from Brady. If, like Gary, the idea of using apps on your phone to print isn't your preference, then Brady have got you covered with the M210, which simplifies labelling with smart automatic formatting. You just drop in a cartridge, type, and print. Intuitive design wizards streamline label creation, whilst the on-screen display lets users easily check printer and cartridge status. You can save and reuse label designs directly on the printer for ultimate convenience. It's built for durability. The M210 features drop, lock and go cartridges, rugged moulded rubber bumpers, and a 2-year warranty. This lightweight 0.7 kilo printer resists military spec shocks and survives falls up to 1.8 meters. It prints durable labels from 6 to 19 millimeters wide in up to 7 industry specified materials, perfect for wire wraps, terminal blocks, and more. With an ergonomic cutter, smart automatic formatting, and easy-to-use ABC keypad, the M210 combines brains and brawn for reliable, efficient label creation on any job site. Now, lighting specialist Ledvance has unveiled its Floodlight Gen 4. This powerful exterior light has a high efficiency of 150 lumens per watt, an IP rating of 66, and a service life of up to 75,000 hours. A special multi-lumen function allows the brightness to be adjusted in 2 stages via a switch on the luminaire. Light output options range from 780 lumens to a super bright 25,000 lumens. A sensor version has automatic dimming, which cuts output to either 20 or 40% if no person is detected. A photocell version with a daylight sensor completes the range. The link to all the products is in the show notes. In promotions this week, the standout has to be the chance to win some original Formula 1 merch. Signify has recently sponsored the Mercedes-AMG Petronas team to help support its goal of achieving zero net emissions. On offer is an exclusive Formula 1 hoodie. To join, simply register on the Signify LumExpert platform and send a message with the word giveaway to the Signify LumExpert WhatsApp. Additionally, the first 100 contractors to put in an order worth over £200 will receive a Mercedes-AMG Petronas cap during the promotion. The promo ends on Sunday, the 8th of December. I've put a link to the full terms and conditions in the show notes. And finally, an Italian electrician has discovered priceless artworks hidden behind a false ceiling. David Renzoni was doing routine electrical maintenance at a palazzo in Rome when he came across a set of 17th century frescoes. The three stunning paintings feature rosy-cheeked cherubs surrounded by hues of blue, red and gold. Art experts say that they've lost none of their brilliance despite being covered up for decades. Renzoni was stunned to come across the art in the vaulted ceiling of what was once the living room of Agostino Chigi, a wealthy banker and Renaissance patron who had the villa built in the 16th century. Now, just before we go, we'd like to give a special College Connection shout out to 18-year-old Kian Ivory, who's doing level 3 at Milton Keynes College. Kian has completed lots of our CPDs, including ones on continuity testing, RCDs and containment. We're delighted that you're finding our free courses useful, Kian, and we wish you and your classmates every success in your studies. And our usual reminder that we're in the market for your stories, your projects and your recommendations, as we'd like to share them with the wider eFix community. Can you believe that the next episode of the news will be released in December? I don't know where 2024 has gone. Anyway, over the next month, we'll be looking at energy monitoring and lighting controls. Send us pictures of your installs or let us know if you've come across any new kit that's making your job easier. And just before we get to your favourite bit of the show where I reveal last week's challenge words and winners, we want to thank our premium partners. We couldn't make the news without you. First up, it's the people who've created the Swiss Army knife of solar inverters along with all weather batteries, very much the Boy Scouts of the solar industry. It's Sunsync. The best thing to come out of Yorkshire since stainless steel, the home of EV Ultra and other groundbreaking and quality products, it's Doncaster Cables. With an incredible range of equipment from EV charge points through industrial sockets and switches to kit for explosive areas, plus they supplied gear for a Campari factory, so they'll always have a place in my heart, it's Scarmy. Big thanks to you all. We really appreciate your ongoing support for the news. If you think you know the words that I've smuggled into this week's show, pop your guess into the comments. We'll take all the correct guesses and select one at random to be the winner of an eFix goodie bag prize. Answers submitted after about lunchtime on the Thursday after release will not be entered into the draw. Now let's reveal the winners of last week's challenge word competition as sponsored by Brady. Remember, if you need a label, they've got a printer and so much more. Click the link in the description to view their incredible range. Last week's words were Jacobean and salamander, and the first name to come out of our electronic hat was Johnny Mac LK5QO. Excellent work, Johnny. Click the link in the show notes to claim your prize. And while we're here, just a quick shout out as well to Anthony Piggott7075 for the funniest comment last week when he suggested that Jacobean salamander would probably be the name of a paint colour next week. If anyone's watching from Farrow and Ball, we can negotiate licensing terms. Thanks for listening to this episode of Electrical News Weekly in association with Solar Trade Sales, your easy one-stop shop for all things solar. Remember to click the link in the show notes to check out their online shop. Make sure you subscribe to receive the next update. Thanks for listening, and until next time, have a great week, stay safe out there, and remember, there's no such thing as a torque calibrated arm.